All right, let's get this started. Okay, everyone, it's Janzer again, and I am bringing the next part of my talk with Malachaai here. And without further ado, Malachaai from Malachaai Games, go check out her content on her channel. She's also streaming on Twitch now as well. The only place to stream.
You know what gets me is all those tiny little wires that go into the motherboard that scares the living daylights out of me.
Well, yeah. There's really not that many now. Like when I started, you actually used to have to set jumpers on, pins. Now it's like you can, now I sound like an old guy, but now, in my day, you had to, solder the things together and you had to build your own motherboard. No, you didn't. It wasn't that bad, but, now it's a lot, it really is easier now. It really is really easy now to build a machine and to just have it turn on.
And work. I know, and all these incredibly fast things.
Yeah.
I've had two PCs, two custom built PCs, and the first one I didn't build myself, but I watched being built, and I learned as I went along in the last year or two. And I have a second custom built now. I've upgraded my graphics card and RAM and stuff. And this baby I built myself with somebody watching over my shoulder, so I didn't completely bugger it up. And of course, those tiny little wires I didn't do myself, but the rest of it I bought myself, so I'm very proud of this one. My baby. Hello, baby. It's huge. I'm calling it a baby, but it's massive. So, yeah. So, okay, back on track again. It's that power,
though. You have that power now.
I know. Oh, I've got to tell you, this is the best thing ever, because I ordered I don't know what the hell I had. I had something, graphics card. Anyway, so I ordered a GTX 750 Ti, 2 gigabyte. So, get the thing, install it, and discover it's actually a 4 gig. Like, oh my god, yes please. So I'm running Shadow of Mordor on maximum settings and stuff.
That's awesome. I've got I think my video card is a 670. I got it a few years back, and I have no reason to change it out right now.
Exactly. So why? If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, I can still run everything at my max resolution, whatever, and. Honestly, I'm still in the habit of turning certain things off just because, I used to have turned everything off, and now I can have everything on. It's a big change, but,
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like, I have color? I didn't realize video games had color.
Then,
I'm kidding.
Are those leaves of the trees? Oh my god.
Poor people. Now I have to just make jokes. Poor people, we just didn't even get some of the weapons. It's like, sorry, this weapon's actually, it's too many animations for you. We just...
Yeah, wait, 670, forget it.
I'm kidding, yeah.
I just got really lucky. It was time for an upgrade, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to do this. So,
yeah, it's good knowledge to have anyways, because it's also a personal thing where it's like, I can do this. I can do this.
Exactly.
It's not even that bad. People are crazy telling me it's difficult. Now that it's not so bad. But then again, that could go for anything. Well, now that I know nuclear science, it's not so hard. Took me 20 years to get into it, but
down the chemical aisle of the hardware department.
Right. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know about that. I learned on my own. Yeah.
We were talking about Mass Effect.
Mass Effect 2. You started on the game that I absolutely love, and the only version of Mass Effect I played. But you went on to play Mass Effect 3 as well.
You should really pick that up, because 3 years down the line, I'm still playing the multiplayer.
I know. You know what turned me off to it?
What?
People.
Oh no!
Their
that's
reaction
awful.
to the ending. I hated everything that happened about how people reacted to the ending, because I'm very much a purist in the sense I'm like, that developer created it. Shut up. I mean, you can voice your opinion, but not to make them change it. How dare you?
I have to agree with you, because we don't do that to movies.
Yeah.
We don't say, well, we didn't like the end of Titanic. Please don't get him die. It doesn't work like that. So why do we have to do it to games?
Yeah,
so
it's an experience. You felt something,
On the one hand, I respect the developers for changing the end, because they listen to their community, which is admirable on their part. But then really, we shouldn't have been whiny bitches about it. Seriously, that's the game. End of story. Deal with it. The rest of it was great. Don't take 5 minutes to ruin your experience. But that was also my first experience of anything multiplayer online. Because my cousin was playing multiplayer with some friends of his, and he was like, "Oh, you've got to try this part of the game." I'm like, "Okay, how do I do this?" I'm like, "Oh my god, this is a whole new world." And I met some absolutely amazing people online playing video games, and the Mass Effect community is really, really friendly and kind and sweet. I don't think in the years that I've been playing Mass Effect online or the Mass Effect multiplayer, I've met maybe a handful of obnoxious people, and the rest have been great.
You're very lucky.
So, I am lucky.
You're very lucky.
I've met my best friend I met playing Mass Effect. I haven't met him in real life, and I hope to God that one day I do, because we're good friends. And so, yeah, it's a great way to meet friends online.
Yeah. No, that you brought that up on Twitter the other day about, has anyone else experienced this? And back when I used to play MMOs, which is like heroin to me, I can't play them anymore. I weaned myself off of games totally, to the point to where I was playing Flash games and then not at all, nothing. Just to prove that I didn't need it, because that's scary. That could be a real thing, because addiction could be literally anything. Food is an addiction. There's a lot of air. I can't get enough of that. No.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. I can't quit this. I can't quit you. Yeah. But seriously though, food can be a big issue with a lot of people. It is for me. It's always been for years. I'm not overweight. I never have been, but it's because I diligently work at it. That's not true. I think I was technically overweight at one point or another, but not like massively. And that's not a knock to anybody that is, because it's fucking hard to be diligent every day, to say no, to go and do these other things. It's really hard. It's not, people are not given enough credit, given the society that we live in. If you have what you were saying, you just have stuff. We have it. And so we can complain, and we can overindulge, and we can expect, we can expect things that we shouldn't expect. It's like, don't you realize how lucky you are?
Maybe it's an African mindset, quite honestly. I mean, we're freaking grateful for everything we have. No, I'm just kidding.
Honestly,
little bit.
I come from a very, very poor background, so I feel the same way, but I think that's because I've had to work. I've literally had to claw my way up to where I'm at now, and now people would still look down on me, but I have no problem looking at them and just not even blinking and saying, what?
That's
what?
True.
I've worked for every goddamn thing I have. I've got no shame.
I completely agree with you there.
Speaking of looking up at stuff, I have to go back to Shadow of the Colossus. How did you... come on, you gotta relate your experience with that game.
Okay, well, I can't talk about Shadow of the Colossus if I don't speak about Ico first.
Okay.
Okay, well, those were the very first video games I ever picked up a controller for. Ico was just amazing, and I told you before that I get really emotionally connected to characters in games. Like
me too.
And that's what happened with the little guy in Ico. The fact that he had to hold Yorda's hand right through the game, and you couldn't get too far ahead because she'd get taken down by these shadow creatures, and that I was of the opinion that I'm never going to play video games. What is this? It's a freaking waste of time. Don't you people have anything better to do with your lives? Oh my God, I can't put Ico down. I swear, it was just, it blew my mind. Just in terms of the art style, was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It is such a minimalist game. It didn't need banks and banks of these are your weapons, and this is your health, and these are your shields, and you have these powers, and you've got to combo this. It was so simple, but it had so much strength in that simplicity, because you could focus on the story itself and actually get into the character of Ico and connect yourself to the little character of Yorda.
Right.
And help them escape this evil prison that this evil queen had imprisoned her daughter in. If there is anybody listening who has PlayStation 3, please, for the love of God, do yourselves a favor and play Ico, because you will not regret it. It's a classic. It's art. It's a cult.
I have
amazing.
A PlayStation 3, and I have Ico with Shadow of the Colossus as like a dual package, and I have never played them.
you won't regret it. It's beautiful.
I have to connect it at some point. It's one of those things about what you were saying, like just way earlier, which is there's only so much amount of time that I have, and I have to give it where I feel I most, and right now that's with the community a lot of the time.
Well, when you find some time in the future, you won't regret it. It's beautiful.
Oh, I've seen gameplay of Shadow of the Colossus, so I can only imagine.
I know. I watched somebody playing it recently. Also on Twitch, he was doing I think it was a 20-hour stream because he'd gotten 2,000.
Wow. 20-hour stream?
20-hour stream.
20-hour stream?
20-hour stream. I kid you not. He said he was going to do a 30-hour stream when he got 3,000 views. I'm a little nervous for when he gets 4,000, but take it as it comes. So yeah, watching Shadow was just amazing. Same kind of thing, same premise. Looked like a very similar environment. Same kind of connection to Wonder.
Yeah.
Just nothing. You had that circle which showed you your strength, I think, as you hung on to the fur of whichever Colossus, sorry. And what kind of got to me about the game was I felt terribly guilty every time I killed one of these huge colossi.
Yep.
Because it felt like they were just existing in their environment. They weren't bothering anybody. And I was killing them for no reason. It was a selfish reason. I had no reason to kill them, but I had to do this to resurrect this girl that I was in love with.
Well, you had a reason. And the character, I think, when like I brought up BioShock and the fact that I just recently started playing it, and I had actually bypassed a lot of anything, and people were like, "How did you not see the spoilers?" And I'm like, "Simple. I just never looked at any of that stuff. It's actually not hard. You just don't watch it. It's I don't know how to explain that. You can not watch something. It's okay. It's fine." And so the experience of me playing it on Twitch, I had people in the chat talking to me, and I just told them, "Don't tell me any spoilers, and we'll be fine." I had moderators. And I was able to, they allowed me to experience it with them, and they've played it before, and they were freaking out, like, number one, how much I get into the game. Like, I'm in that world. I can really, I love getting wrapped up, like you said, the escape. Love getting wrapped up in that world and thinking about motivations and looking at the lighting, looking at texturing. I did some 3D animation for a while. Cool. And, so I really love looking at environments and lighting and texture. And so the level of appreciation I have is no different than anyone else. It's just a little more detailed sometimes, because I can speak about it versus like, wow, that looks beautiful. And then I'm like, that looks beautiful because the lighting, because the shadows because the round edges, and because, but who cares? Some of that, sometimes, I even told myself, I think in one of these videos recently, I was like, sometimes I just tell myself, shut up. You like it because you like it.
Play the game. Exactly.
It's okay to like it and shut up.
I played Shadow a long time after it was released. This game was released in 2005, I think, in North America. So it's 10 years old this year.
Yeah.
And I only played it like in 2009, 2010, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And so that shows you. I've only been playing any kind of game for the last 5 years, 6 years or so. And even now, watching this guy play it the other day.
Who is the Twitch player?
It's Murder Clock with Lift Gaming.
Okay, great.
He's great. He's an amazing streamer. He's fantastic.
You're gonna have to send on Twitter. On Twitter, send me the link, and I can add that to this. I like to link out anything that I've talked about because it's only fair, So, yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a great streamer.
Awesome.
Watching him play it, it didn't feel like it had dated very much at all. Okay, when you get close to Agro, who's the horse, you can see, the polygon shapes and that type of thing.
Right.
But I think for a game that's 10 years old, it's freaking amazing. And
it is.
It's so well done. The sound is exactly right. The movement of these colossi are just incredible.
Yeah, when he calls his horse Agro, it's great. Yes. It's so good. Have you ever watched the movie Reign Over Me?
No, I haven't seen it.
Reign Over Me it's got Don Cheadle, and it's got who's the comedian guy? Adam Sandler. Adam
Oh,
Sandler.
okay.
But Adam Sandler does these things like with Punch Drunk Love. He does these things where occasionally he's in a role where he is serious. It's like Will Ferrell. When he does his serious roles, they're very vulnerable. And it's so good. Check out Reign Over Me. It's an old movie at this point. But what happens, a little bit of what's going on there, and it's not a surprise. Adam Sandler is kind of in a depression, and a big depression. And one of the things that he does is play Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
they actually show some gameplay. I'm like, wow.
That's amazing.
They're very true to the game, because sometimes you can have video games and movies and it's horrible. They've got the wrong system, the wrong controller, a game that's like an arcade game that was never released,
Yes. Oh, jeez. Yeah. That's classic. I just stopped watching those movies.
Yeah.
How can you? Oh, that's brilliant. It's really good that they.
It is. And Don Cheadle was like trying to, help his buddy out of this, and it's a very interesting dynamic between them. But then they also even he brings Don Cheadle in to play the game, introduces him to gaming and stuff, and then you could see that oh, I never realized you could think about gaming this way. I never understood that this is just another part of what can be life. Did you by chance, and here's my self-promotion because I'm so amazing. I did a thing on how Netflix binge watching is perfectly acceptable, but playing video games is not.
Damn, I'm gonna have to go and watch that one.
Yeah, I do a lot of these little comments. See, that's the thing with my channel, and more self-promotion because I'm important. Everyone?
Well, I mean, it's
Thank
your
you.
channel, you're allowed to.
Yeah, well, I'm not allowed. No, I don't even give myself the leeway to act. Trust me, I'm hard on everyone, including myself. But I occasionally throw so many curveballs, and sometimes I do these talks just about society, and whatever, and not too preachy, but it's just more of the hypocrisy, because it's funny and it's also very grating over time. It just gets to you. But anyways, one of them's how is this perfectly acceptable? Football season or fantasy football is perfectly fine, but video games are not. Fantasy football is super nerdy. The numbers that you have to run to get that team to be what oh my god. If that's not the nerdiest thing, then I have no idea.
I don't understand fantasy football at all. I
don't either.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I mean, a friend of mine recently did a video about video games being. He would rather play a video game than watch a movie.
Oh, that's right. That's Gamatron, right?
That's the Gamatron.
Yeah, I watch pretty much everything he does.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. He's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, I enjoy a good movie, but I don't understand why people have to knock video games, because
right,
you're interacting more with what you're doing. And I mean, with TV, we've got without I don't live in a palace, but I'm lucky enough to have 2 big screen TVs, and I don't remember when last we've actually switched them on because it's video games. You're
I don't
actually
even have
exercising.
cable TV anymore. I just have internet. It's
Oh,
been
we've
like
got
this for
Netflix.
years.
Yeah. We don't have cable. We switched ours off because there's crap on it.
Yeah.
You're interacting with people, with characters. You're exercising. Okay, and I'm sounding all preachy myself, but you're doing more for yourself and your brain than you are just sitting and staring blankly at a TV and being fed stuff.
It's
Whereas
true.
with this, you actually have to contribute something.
Yeah, you can't just shut your brain off.
Exactly.
Well,
So I
some
don't
games you
understand-
can.
Well,
Some games it's actually acceptable and loved the fact that I can just turn myself off. Yeah.
I have never played Call of Duty. No, have I? No, I haven't. I've tried playing Counter-Strike. I've died miserably. So
It's a horrible game. I love it.
I can't play. I just can't.
I grew up with it. I grew up with Counter-Strike from Alpha, and so I was with that game for so long that all I could do after a certain point was just knife people, because that was the only challenge left. That was the only challenge left. I knew all the maps. I knew every best route. I was so good at it. I didn't see the value of, I failed myself and didn't see the value of video games being something that I could even get into as a way of life. Because I was so good, I could have been on a competitive team or something like that. But I didn't, going up poor, you don't take those risks. Well, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. Let me be clear. Sometimes that's the only way you get out of your situation is by being very risky. But I took calculated risks, and my calculated risk was work a job that could potentially get me some skill set so I can move forward versus I'm going to go play video games that's not supported in society at all and take a very huge risk, Yeah. So, but Counter-Strike, FPSs, there is a thing about FPSs that you can get into the zone. It's the same thing with sports, same thing with a lot of you could be drawing, you could be, there's just, your brain gets into a different kind of like pattern, rhythm, to where you're kind of off, but that specialized compartment area is working like really well, and it's great. And so FPSs, I think for me, are kind of like I shut my brain off a bit. I don't know.
I think
could be just me though.
I think for me, it's a case of if I'm going to play something like that, obviously I'm playing with people online, and they know these games. They're automatically going to be better than me, and I'm going to lose, and I don't do well with losing.
Oh. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed that. I'll be bringing the next part of this soon, TM. And once again, go check out Malachaai Games on YouTube and on Twitch. And I believe we also talked about Murder Clock briefly, so I'll leave the description to Murder Clock's Twitch, I believe, in the description. We'll see you next time.